Hey guys, happy Halloween. Today we're going over how to play Belgr the Skyruler as well as why you should play the deck. So first off, I'm not exactly too sure who this guy is, but apparently he approved this deck. He was like hyping it during DZ-BT09. It was like S tier, super aggressive deck. Finish off the opponent, win every game, very aggressive, just solid deck all around. That was hyped by this person. So yeah, not too sure who this guy is. Apparently his name is Ty Dream. But anyways, moving on. So why should you play Belgr the Skyruler? Well, you can be a Skyruler of the meta and take down evil meta slaves who play decks like Sagra, Virgilla, Heartruluru. The list goes on. And of course, you'll be super cool when you win because everyone will be like, how are you beating these decks with this like rogue, like tier 3 insane green deck that just like rushes down your opponent and beats the crap out of them. So anyways, moving on, we need to talk about how do you win with this deck. And honestly, it's quite simple. You just deal them 6 damage. It's as simple as that. Deal them 6 damage, don't take 6 damage. The Cardfight Vanguard way. It's that easy. Anyways, moving on, how to not die. Of course, this is going to vary from locals and, per person, but, just, be mindful of your opponent and just, don't die. Just don't take the 6 damage. It's as simple as that. So what makes the deck good? First off, we have bunnies right here. Bunnies will reproduce, spam themselves onto the board by CB1 ditching. You'll just get a bunch of bunnies on your board. And then this card, the powerful order grade 0, Blessing to the Flowering Buds will buff up all your bunnies to 15k beaters. And they will also get the red text that when they hit, you can return it back to hand. So you can use bunnies on place effect again to essentially duplicate itself or keep milling deck. And the bunnies will be really, really big once you play the Flowering Buds order. You call it a bunch, basically making 30k plus columns to just beat down your opponent. There's also Thruster Vixen to like duplicate itself and mill the deck, get some extra power and shield, kind of like mislead your opponent into thinking you have like no shield, when really you can still defend yourself and then beat them back on the crackback. So now we get to talk about Stochiea generic POW. We have a Mickable Maiden Alvina, of course, expensive card, your 40 USD Fire Regulus, your 20 USD Harvest Elf, the Broken Ace unit selectively deck thin and call anything from drop, and of course your great cyclers to retain your hand and have your pieces, of course, C, Rumble, Brave Shooter, as well as Margaret. Next up, we got the trigger lineup, and as you can see, we don't need heals. We're trying to end the game here. We're playing crits, fronts, and draws, and of course, the best trigger of them all, the over trigger, 100 mil. Flip this, easy damage, easy 100 mil. We're usually playing Stochiea trigger. You can play Val Newt, but 100 mil, every trigger combined into one, or we give the resend 100 mil, flip a crit, boom, boom, they're dead, just like that. Easy extra attacks. So, we don't need heals. We got all the other triggers. Just end the game. Just kill them first. It's that simple. So for the deck list, it's pretty straightforward. You can see all the good green cards we got there. The 40 USD Fire Reg. Of course, you can cut down on more PGs and Persona Ride. We have 3 PGs here and 3 Persona Rides. But of course, you do want to end that game turn 3 and 4. You're doing 4 attacks, 5 attacks if they're on grade 3. And you, of course, have enough cards in drop. So you're just going to be slamming everything down, calling back your bunnies, and really beating face. Harvest Elf is amazing, of course, to kind of mislead your opponents and really just draw one while also making a board. So you are tri-laning every turn. And of course, you've got a bunch of offensive triggers. So you're just going to beat the absolute living daylights out of them. So for Mulligan, you pretty much just need your draw cards, good cyclers. We got C Rumble, Brave Shooter, Margaret, to pitch during your ride phase. You can pay the cost to draw a card. And of course, getting your bunny as well as the budding order just to really get the bunny beat down going. Alright, now for the game plan of the deck. We have Midnight Bunnies into Nightmare Doll Alice, do 5 billion bajillion million attacks, and of course you have the ultimate technique of the bunnies reproducing, duplicating themselves. Give them, the drug and they'll just duplicate. They'll just keep spreading and spreading and spreading, and you'll just beat the absolute daylights out of your opponent. You have a bunch of bunnies on your board, get all 4, play Flowering Buds, and just beat down your opponent. Bunny beat down, just go in, get all those bunnies out there and win the game. It's just that easy. Just have a bunch of bunnies, get the order, and your opponent will just explode. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now you know how to play Belgr the Skyruler, how to use its full potential and defeat the villains of Vanguard, become the true protagonist, and do 5 billion attacks with 5 billion bunnies, infinite bunny beatdown. Just destroy your opponent and deal them 6 damage. It's just that simple. Cardfight Vanguard, flip triggers. That's the game. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you another time in another video. Big shout out to Arte for giving me this PowerPoint, and of course the descriptions will have the deck list as usual. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.